So this will be the tech demo for TAKGM. We've been working on this now since about the beginning of February, and we're going to continue working on it until the end of December when our 12-man team graduates. But we just wanted to make this progress video to show everybody a little bit about what's happened so far in the development. So we're going to start off by taking a look at the Grand Canyon sublevel. And anything that we add in during runtime in the simulation, we've added the capability to save and load this because it's our goal to turn this into an open source app by the end of its development cycle. So we wanted to make it as easy as possible for people to design operations of their own and then save and run those simulations with whoever their intended audience is, rather than being restricted to our limited amount that we compose. So to show this feature off, we'll come down here and open our drag and drop menu here, and we'll place in a missile launcher and a VTOL. We'll save their locations, and we'll go ahead and close out, relaunch the app again, take ourselves back to the Grand Canyon sublevel. And then as it loads in here, we'll take our camera back down to where we were and load those actors back into the world. So you'll see that the two repopulated when I press the key. So now we're going to go ahead and change our sublevel from here to the UCF sublevel where the rest of our simulation will take place. As we load in, the first thing I want to direct your attention to is the different types of movement that TAKGM currently features. So we'll look over here near the student union, and you'll immediately notice that we have an actor being followed by a drone. Its location can be updated by clicking around on the map. So this actor will eventually have their location updated by a player in the real world interfacing through ATAK. So their position locational data, that is their PLI, will be updated on tick, and as they move around in the real world, so too will their actor's location reflect that in Cesium. But for now we have the movement options of clicking with the mouse, and we have the ambassador here following the player. And now you'll also see that we have set a predefined patrol path for these 4 NPCs. So a GM can mix and match these different styles of movement as they see fit for each of the different units that they choose to implement. So as we follow their path towards the Humvee, which is where we're heading next, I'd like to go ahead and let you pay attention to something that's going to happen up here at the end of this street. One of our troops is shot and killed by an unseen sniper. And this will be more important when the locust system that I showcase at the end of the tech demo is fully functioning, because their positions will update around the locust to reflect one of them being taken down. And one last thing regarding these NPCs, I've implemented a randomized dialogue system that involves parsing of strings. So whenever you have an actor that's liable to be a target in your view and you press the key, you'll see some randomized dialogue on the bottom. That could be a potential conversation between a player and a GM as they ask for permission to engage the virtual target. So as we get here and everybody boards the Humvee, you'll see that there are now 4 NPCs on board. I will go ahead and show off the drone capabilities. So we'll swap to the drone, and we can see that it has the basic crosshair, and we can pan around with the view. We have 2 different filters that we can swap through, and we have step zoom and the ability to move up and down. So using this drone, we'll see that the enemy who took down our friendly is over here sniping from the top of this building. So we'll swap back to our main camera. Now I'll show off the menu that you briefly saw in the introductory Grand Canyon segment, but in more depth. So we'll go ahead and drag in the missile launcher, select it from our outliner, go over here to the sniper that was on the roof, and we can drag out the target of the missile to his location. We'll set the time on target, that is how long it takes for the missile to reach its destination in minutes, for 1 minute. Send the missile on its way. You'll see it come out of the silo, and then we'll go ahead and drop in a VTOL as well, which will prompt some introductory dialogue to play. We'll set its time on target and send it on its way. And now I can show off how we can swap between the cameras of these actors whenever we please. So you can see the VTOL taking off and gaining altitude, or we can watch the missile heading in its parabolic arc towards its target. We can also snap out of this fixed camera at any point and change back to free camera if we wish to see the missile's position relative to the ground and watch it approach its target. So now I'll swap back to the main pawn, and we are going to begin heading towards the LZ. So as we take a left up here, you will pretty quickly see that there's a roadblock up ahead. So, 4 soldiers on board our Humvee are going to depart in order to buy us the time we need to make an evasive maneuver and get to the LZ with the ambassador. So you saw that quick little battle happen there as they valiantly held the line and gave us the time we needed to begin pushing towards the LZ. A lot of different things happened at once. As you see, the dialogue kind of went a little haywire on the bottom, which brings me to the next thing I want to talk about, which are planned features for the future of TAKGM, because we still have 6 months left of development. This is only the halfway point for us. So first of all, we want to push harder on the ATAK side of things right away. You'll see a little bit more briefly at the end of this video where we talk about pushing COT stream, which is a format for messages. It stands for cursor on target, used primarily in military context. So with that, we're able to push the PLI, which is the position location information, and that's what you're going to see more of in this video. But we want to focus on pushing video as well, so that the GM can see exactly where their players are in the real world and plan their simulations more accordingly around those factors and add the most realism that they possibly can. So we just reached the LZ, which means the VTOL will now continue from the IP towards our location for extraction. And while it's on the way, I'll talk about the one other planned feature we have after video pushing to ATAK, which is a complete rework of the dialogue interface. Because, as noted, there was a lot of overlap when any 2 events happen simultaneously. So we're going to set up a small team to take care of that and make sure that when a new message is set to display, all previous ones are wiped from the screen. And of course, we'll make a much more detailed dialogue box as well in the process, so that it's not just a gray rectangle. And the last thing I wanted to show off in this tech demo is the locus system, which we're still working on. So this is the last style of movement for TAKGM. So if you pay attention to this little square right here, you'll see that we can spawn a formation of soldiers around it and cycle through a few different formations for these soldiers. So we have an orbit, a line, and a V, as well as a not pictured swarm formation that only works for aerial units like drone swarms. So we're having slight issues with getting this to function while moving. So currently, if you try to move this locus along a path while there's soldiers in the formation, it'll break pretty quickly and it will not move to the destination it's supposed to move to. But pretty soon, this will be our primary way of moving. So those 4 soldiers you saw running in a straight line along the predefined path will look a lot more like this before too long. So those are our 3 big planned features for the future of TAKGM at the moment. And I'll turn the rest of the video's runtime over to Jackson to explain in a little bit more detail about how the COT and PLI information works and how interoperability is involved in this project between TAKGM and WinTAK.
Hello, my name is Jackson, and I'll be demonstrating the COT messaging functionality in TAKGM. So we have our project loaded over here on the right, and WinTAK playing on the left. The project is configured with the IP address and the port number which ATAK is using to listen to COT messages. So this enables us to send COT messages via UDP to ATAK from our project. So I'm going to go ahead and play the project. Okay, so now that our scene is loaded, I can go ahead and place the missile launcher. So I'm going to place it near this lake over here. And I'm going to set its target to be on this interstate. We'll put time on target at 0.5 seconds and let it launch. So you'll notice immediately that a new missile appears on ATAK, and this marker is updated at a rate which is adjustable in TAKGM. So currently it's set at every 1.5 seconds a new COT message is dispatched. And one thing you'll notice is that when this makes impact, the marker does not disappear from the map, so that's something still left to do. So yeah, that looks good. I'm now going to drop an airplane in here and show that. Let's put it right over here in this parking lot. And you'll see that a marker is appearing on the map for the airplane. So yeah, that's essentially the COT messaging functionality that we have implemented so far, and we'll be looking on expanding this. We will be looking to take in and parse COT messages that are dispatched from ATAK so we can populate entities inside TAKGM. Thank you so much for watching.
If you'd like to try out this version of the project for yourself, the GitHub will be linked in the description. Just beware that this is a very pre-alpha version, but if you install Unreal Engine and just pull from the repo, you'll be able to test all of these features out on your own PC. And if you set up WinTAK, you can even test out the COT pushing and see yourself updated in real time in the real world. I'll also attach a Google Docs link with all of the inputs so that you have a little bit of a better idea on how to navigate the program if you do attempt to use it. If you liked what you saw, feel free to subscribe and stay tuned for more updates. We try to post videos pretty frequently with progress updates in regards to TAKGM. And I also post my other personal projects on this channel.